Please subscribe. The 2020 Toyota Rav4 TRD Off-Road is a rough-looking little SUV that sits at the highest point of its model range. In addition to the fact that it offers unobtrusively improved path-slamming ability, it's just as refined and adaptable as more standard renditions of the amiable Rav4. With attractive lines and a lot of healthy goodness, there are not many reasons not to think about stopping one of these machines in your carport. TRD Off-Road overhauls. Isolating the TRD Off-Road model from increasingly workaday Rav4s is a scope of improvements. Reasonably more extensive bumper flares help give it a bulkier, increasingly planted appearance. Front and back, the guards are new, and there's an alternate grille in advance. The general look is durable and eye-getting, regardless of whether it's very like what you get with the more reasonably evaluated adventure trim form of this Toyota. With respect to real, meaningful updates, they're genuinely minor. These Rav4s move on uncommon 18-inch wheels that are blessed to receive a matte dark completion. Giving improved footing in an assortment of conditions are a lot of 255/60R18 Falken Wildpeak off-road tires. Their sidewalls may shout Rubicon Trail, with their made right shoulders and blocky lettering. However, the genuine track design is significantly less forceful and more qualified for regular street use. Behind those updated wheels is an extraordinary suspension arrangement. The Rav4 off-road model highlights twin-tube safeguards, red springs for a sprightly look should you cover your face in a wheel well, and new knock stops that evidently give better body control while handling tough landscape. With Michigan still to a great extent secured, I haven't had the option to scrutinize this case by doing some appropriate going mud romping, yet this vehicle keeps a level when confronted with potholes or while handling scarred earth streets. Working related to those off-road tires is a standard torque vectoring all-wheel drive framework. With 2 or 3 client-selectable settings for various conditions, this course of action can send up to half of the motor's torque to the back hub, and it can allot that curve from the left side to one side, varying for improved taking care of. The back area of this driveline can likewise disengage when not expected to help improve efficiency. Inquisitively, the Rav4 TRD Off-Road has no expansion in ground leeway. It has the equivalent 8.6 inches you get in different models. On the off chance that it's intended for trail creeping as Toyota shows, shouldn't it have more? Likewise, there are essentially no slip plates securing this present vehicle's fragile underbody. So on the off chance that you do choose to take one of these from the shopping center to Moab, be cautious. I would prefer not to see you tear out a brake line or cut the fuel tank while navigating unpleasant landscape, and you positively would prefer not to pay for related fixes. A consummately serious powertrain. While a half-and-half drivetrain is accessible in other Rav4 models, the TRD Off-Road just accompanies one motor, the natural 2.5-liter dynamic force 4-chamber, which is utilized in different items like the Toyota Camry vehicle. This current motor's corporate name is somewhat schmaltzy, however the presentation it conveys is impeccably decent. Put that group of 4 of pots on the bubble and you're remunerated with 203 strength and 184 pound-feet of torque. This motor certainly isn't reluctant to leave its voice alone heard when buckling down, however I really think it sounds entirely great, transmitting a decisive thunder, particularly at higher fires up. A responsive 8-speed program transmission is your solitary decision, which I surmise implies it's not so much a decision. Luckily, this gearbox is mindful, both smooth and snappy to rearrange through its riggings, benefiting as much as possible from the motor's accessible snort. It additionally conveys decent efficiency. Driven typically, you can expect 25 miles for each gallon city and 32 miles per gallon throughway. Joined, the Rav4 TRD Off-Road is evaluated at a not outlandish 27 miles per gallon. These figures contrast well in other little hybrids. As per the EPA, a Honda CR-V, one with all-wheel drive and the accessible turbocharged motor, should return 29 miles per gallon in blended motoring. On ordinary boulevards, the Rav4 TRD Off-Road is sufficiently charming to direct. Its directing is out of the blue fresh, both for a hybrid and a Toyota, with a light and exact feel. Beside a touch of tire commotion, its inside remains for the most part tranquil, even at throughway speeds. Remain on the quickening agent pedal and this Rav4 moves with sensible power. No, it won't push you once more into your seat like getting kicked in the chest, yet the exhibition it offers is superbly fine and more than serious with rival hybrids. Solace and accommodation. Generally, I truly like what Toyota has finished with the Rav4's inside. The front seats are agreeable and there are a lot of delicate plastics and capacity cubbies, in addition to I love the red sewing you get in TRD Off-Road models. In lieu of creature stows away, my analyzer seats are canvassed in Softex, a false cowhide material that not just looks great, it feels pleasant, neither modest nor plasticky. To shield the rug from winter slop or sloppy boot prints, TRD Off-Road models likewise highlight elastic floor mats. The first and second lines are secured by these all-climate floor coverings, similar to the load region. Backseat travelers have a lot of room. At 6 feet tall, I have no bad things to say about this current vehicle's housing on the grounds that there's a lot of space for both my knees and noggin. With respect to freight space, there's no deficiency, either. With the behind backrest up, you get an asserted 37.5 cubic feet of garbage pulling limit. Crease at them level and you get 69.8 3D shapes. To sweeten the deal even further, the Rav4's floor is very low, which makes it simpler to stack substantial or cumbersome payload. In advance, this present vehicle's atmosphere control and sound handles highlight a grippy elastic surface and have a twirl design cut into them, which sort of infers the cutting edges of a turbine motor. They're anything but difficult to utilize and feel thick. Tragically, they're flanked by a progression of modest, rectangular catches. Not exclusively do these changes watch strange, they can be difficult to hit, particularly while driving. Modifying the fan speed or raising a menu can resemble attempting to string a needle while whitewater boating. Keeping everybody glad and their gadgets completely squeezed, 5 USB ports are sprinkled all through this current Toyota's inside. These are standard tool on each Rav4, likewise for Android Auto, Apple CarPlay and Amazon Alexa similarity. My analyzer additionally includes an up-level infotainment framework with route and 8-inch touchscreen. Travelers are additionally treated to a 11-speaker JBL sound framework. That infotainment framework is fine, no more, no less. Toyota's media contributions will in general be disappointing, with ugly illustrations and unfeeling UIs. This one is really responsive and it absolutely takes care of business, however it's a long way from my top choice. Other discretionary treats incorporate a convenient remote charging plate, stopping sensors and a 360-degree camera, however this last thing is not really something to crow about. The goals of the picture it produces is horrifyingly low and the screen appears to glimmer when it's on, and that is a ton of not great. On the in addition to side, Toyota Safety Sense 2.0 is standard on every one of the 2020 Rav4 models. This incorporates a huge number of driver helps like path takeoff cautioning, versatile voyage control and programmed high shafts. Vulnerable side observing with back cross traffic alert is incorporated over the range also, put something aside for the most essential Rav4 model. This unit is direct to utilize and profoundly compelling. Is it worth the cost? Regardless of whether in progressively regular trim or range-besting TRD off-road structure, I can't state the Rav4 is my preferred little hybrid. It contends in a portion overflowing with fantastic other options. The Honda CR-V is great, Subaru's Forester is incredibly very much done and the Mazda CX-5 for all intents and purposes feels like an extravagance vehicle. All things considered, despite the fact that it may not exceed expectations in a specific territory, this Toyota is acceptable at pretty much everything. It's all around assembled, it's extensive inside and it offers a lot of tech, in addition to its refined, practical and alluringly valued. Counting goal charges, a section-level Rav4 begins at pretty much $27,000, which is more than reasonable nowadays, notwithstanding, my liberally optioned TRD Off-Road test model rings up for around $41,500, a value that is a lot harder to swallow. Truly, that cost gets you some extra ability, yet in all honesty, it's likely not worth what Toyota is charging. Rather, this is my proposal, sidestep the TRD Off-Road model and snatch an increasingly widely appealing Rav4 variation, similar to the similarly as tough-looking Adventure. You'll spare a major wad of cash and the characteristic all-around goodness should make you truly cheerful.